Alright guys, so we're going to be making a chocolate cake today. So I'm going to be starting with pouring a little bit of this into my bowl here. Then we're actually going to be using 4 eggs. Now instead of water, we're actually going to be using this espresso coffee here. We're going to do half a cup. So this has little like chocolate notes here. And then I'm also going to add half a cup of this buttermilk in here. Half a cup of that coffee in here. Just like that. So it's starting to look like that. Instead of the oil, I'm actually going to use butter. You're actually going to take your cocoa powder here. You're going to take a scoop of that and also add that into your chocolate cake here. Maybe even one more. Now I'm also going to add in about 8 of these dark chocolate squares. These are just the ones from Costco. So you've got your half a cup of butter and you've got 8 chocolate squares. Alright, so we microwave that. We're going to pour it in now. We're going to scoop that chocolate all out. Next thing, guys, we're going to add in about 1/4 a cup of sour cream here. So this is going to be our chocolate batter. We're going to put it on the KitchenAid mixer now. So this will be the cake. We're going to do 2 small bowls of it. Now we are just going to mix that a little bit and get it nice and smooth. Probably at a level 2 there. Just going to add in a smidge more of that granulated sugar. And that's that 0 sugar sweetener version. So that is looking amazing. We are going to take that off and set it aside. Alright guys, this looks amazing. It almost reminds me like a mousse or like almost like a pudding. But we're going to be pouring this now into these 2 bowls. I've lined it with parchment paper so it's like an easy release. Now I'm just taking this beautiful fluffy cake batter and I'm separating it into 2 different bowls here using parchment paper so it doesn't stick at the end, trying to even it out as much as possible. Alright guys, so it should look something like that. So we've got 2 there. We're going to try to make them as even as possible, but it'll be what it'll be. So we're going to pop these in the oven for 20 minutes or so until our knife comes out nice and clear. You want to make sure there's nothing wet on your knife when you pull it in and out of the cake. Alright, so next thing guys, we've got that cream cheese, we've got Cool Whip, we've got some instant Jello chocolate. It's a Jello pudding flavor. We've also got some of that buttercream, coffee, and sugar together. We're going to be pouring all of this in our bowl. Now I'm going to take that bowl of Cool Whip and pour it in here. About this much cream cheese in there. And then you're going to pour in just a little bit of this coffee buttercream mix. Kind of like that is good. Even a little bit more. And then we're going to finish off with a little bit of cocoa here. Now we're going to mix this up really well. This time we'll be using our whisk here. You're going to put it up pretty high. Start low, get it mixing nicely first. It's going to be a nice chocolate flavoring here. Now this is looking amazing, guys. You can see it is looking so good. I think this is mixed pretty well now, so we're going to slowly turn it off. So we are now going to cover that. You can see the texture is really almost like a really nice consistency now. We're going to let that cool even more in the fridge while we're waiting for our cake to be finished, letting that cool, and we're also making our pizza. So we'll decorate this later. Alright guys, so this cake looks great. I've tried the knife trick here. Comes out nice and clear. So this one is ready and I'm going to set it aside. The other one still needs to bake a few more minutes. Alright guys, next thing we're going to do is take some of these pecan halves and put them in the pan here. So we just want to toast those a little bit, brown them. We have now broken those up, crunching them with our spatula here. Alright guys, so we are going to do the toppings for my cake now. I've got this beautiful hazelnut cream. This is going to go in the middle of the two cakes there. And then I've got that whipped topping there for the mousse covering. I've got a couple strawberries here. I've just kind of cut them out randomly for a topping with some pecans. So that there is the first part, flipping it over onto a plate. That's the bigger half. So I'm just going to melt some of that ganache because it's starting to pull the top off, just to make it more smooth to apply. That there is a hazelnut spread all over the top. And now we're going to apply the second layer of the cake. So that is the second layer of the cake. Now we'll put it in that nice beautiful whipping top all over it. Here I am just taking that mousse kind of cool whipped cream and layering it on top. I'm going to rotate it and swoosh it all around the cake here. Now, remind you, I'm not a professional and I'm not really a baker either. I just thought to do something fun and creative tonight, have a last little hurrah treat before our diet starts again on Monday. So just thought to enjoy the last little moments. So it's not going to be perfect, guys, and that's totally okay. Now I'm just taking my time, turning it in circles, kind of swooshing it down the sides, and eventually I'm going to take more cream. I'm going to keep rubbing the edges and the sides until the whole cake is covered. My little cake. Now the mousse topping that I use for this cake that I'm simply icing it with is so delicious, guys. I had snuck a little kind of taste of it earlier as I was kind of cleaning the dishes and all that, and I must say it is very, very good. Alright guys, that there is the cake. I'm just going to cut it up and share it with family, homemade by your girl, Eva Storm XOX.